Sure, Glenn. Maybe you've sat around with your friends before, and you've had an argument, and you say, I'll bet you $1 million, or I'll bet you $50,000, or I'll bet you $10,000. Usually the sum of the bet depends on how strongly you feel about the rightness of your position. And in this case, Mitt Romney had been falsely misled by this allegation that he was somehow advocating the Massachusetts health care plan as a national right in the book that he wrote called That is a false attack. Fact-checking organizations have looked at that and called it a false attack. So when Mitt Romney made that bet, he did so knowing that Rick Perry wouldn't take it. And by backing down, Rick Perry looked weak. It was a very revealing moment, and not a good one for Rick Perry.
Also talked to about, the Gingrich people seem to feel that they were strong and that he hasn't backed down on his immigration position, what you guys call amnesty. He didn't back away from his Palestinian comment, even after his own spokesman said temporary overnight. Does that show consistency or support to him, or does it just show wrong-headedness or what?
I think Newt Gingrich has a different set of priorities for the country than Mitt Romney did. You heard Mitt Romney talk repeatedly about his private sector background, how that uniquely qualifies him to lead on the economy. And Newt Gingrich defended his amnesty program. He stuck by his comments calling the Palestinians an invented people. And he actually made an argument for colonizing the moon. These are far-fetched ideas, and some of them, like calling the Palestinians an invented people, are actually disruptive to the peace process in the Middle East. And part of his defense, Newt Gingrich said he was speaking as a historian, but he's not a historian. He's a candidate for president. And candidates for president and presidents themselves have to exercise care and caution and stability in their public comments, particularly when it concerns as volatile a region as the Middle East. And Newt Gingrich failed to do it, and he fails to recognize the wrongness of what he's saying.
Eric, Newt Gingrich brought up the fact that since Mitt Romney lost to Teddy Kennedy, he would have been a career politician otherwise. Can you respond to that?
Well, I thought Governor Romney did a good job responding himself when he said, as a young boy, he wanted to go into the NFL, but he didn't do that either. He went into business instead. And so we don't live in some parallel universe. There is not some alternative reality where Mitt Romney won that election in '94 and became a career politician. After that election, he went back into the business world, and then he left there and went to the Olympics and served 3 years running the 2002 Salt Lake Games. So that is the real experience. And there is going to be a choice in this election, and it ought to be between the failed policies of President Obama and Mitt Romney's experience as a job creator. If our party nominates Newt Gingrich, then next year's election is going to be between two professional politicians, two Washington insiders, and two people with no experience in the real world economy.
But is there concern that you're going to have a number of these candidates who are going to be constantly bringing up that old Ted Kennedy debate where there's a number of clips where they keep saying that he was running as a Democrat light?
Well, look, I was in Massachusetts in 1994 when Mitt Romney took on Ted Kennedy, when very few people were willing to step up and challenge the failed liberal social programs of the 60s. Mitt Romney did that. He ran his campaign based on getting tough on taxes, getting tough on welfare, and on the rampant crime that was occurring that was partly a result of some of these failed liberal social programs. That's what Mitt did. Mitt did it as a champion of Republicans. In fact, Newt Gingrich came to the convention and spoke at that same convention that endorsed Mitt Romney for U.S. Senate in 1994. So this mythology that has grown up that somehow he was running to the left of Ted Kennedy is absolutely ridiculous. He was denounced by the DNC as an extreme right-winger. Mitt was running because he believed someone needed to stand up to Ted Kennedy and his flawed view of liberalism and what it has done to America. And he may not have won that election, but he forced Ted Kennedy to take out a mortgage on his house to keep his seat. So people ought to be thankful for that. Or conservatives ought to be thankful.
After 12 debates,
Eric Fehrnstrom.
after 12 debates and all the discussion